Hi, I'm Andrew Plank, and today we're going to review multiple offers from the buyer's perspective. So you're interested in a property. You want to make an offer, and the listing agent is either accepting offers at a certain date in the future and is trying to perhaps generate multiple offers in conjunction with their seller, or the property has just been on market either for a short time or a long time, but when your offer comes in, other offers materialize at the same time. This can happen for a number of reasons. It could be that it's a new listing, it's a hot property and just ticks the button for a lot of buyers. It could also be that there's been a buyer in the background for a while, interested but not ready to make a move, and when they hear that there's another buyer who has stepped forward, it spurs them on to action as well. But unfortunately, when writing an offer, you're kind of going in blind. The agent representing the buyer doesn't necessarily receive much information about any of the other offers other than that they may exist. And unfortunately, there's not currently a mechanism for showing proof of other offers existing, but the expectation is when you receive an offer or notification of multiple offers, you've got to take action accordingly. And so let's walk through some of those things. So first of all, again, if you're interested in a property, one of the first things I'm going to do is notify the other agent and say, look, we're considering writing an offer. Please keep me in the loop. If you receive another offer, let me know as soon as possible. Obviously, if we're going to make a decision, it's good to make one quickly, just to ensure we don't receive an intervening offer or another offer. So what's an intervening offer? An intervening offer is an offer that you've received after yours has been written. Let's say you write an offer in the morning. It's available for review in the afternoon or early evening by the buyer. And in the meantime, between when you've written your offer and when the seller is going to review the offer, yet another offer has come in. So at that point, we may want to reconsider the offer you've actually written. Reason being is, when the seller is reviewing offers, they have the opportunity, and generally they'll review the offers in the order that they were received, but they don't have to accept or reject any one particular offer before looking at the other offers. They can look at all offers before making a decision. So generally they will look at all of the offers available to them. They will make a decision at that point whether to accept one of those offers, or reject all of the offers, or counter and send a counter proposal back to one of those offers. And those are really their options at the time. So it's really important that we, as buyers, your buyers and myself, stay in constant communication if you're interested in a property. And I will try to stay in communication with the listing agent to find out the number of offers received, when they're being reviewed, whether or not it's possible for me to actually make a physical presentation of your offer. In other words, are they going to be reviewing this offer with a seller who is in town and is available and is open to having me come by and explain your offer and be available to hopefully sell your offer to them, versus are they just going to review the pieces of paper with their agent solely and without anybody else there? So some really important facts, and some of these are true of all cases, but especially in a bidding war or multiple offer situation. Due diligence really increases your odds. That means doing your homework, being prepared with your financing in advance, having read a purchase contract in advance so that we've already outlined and gone through any of the questions you may have around what a contract entails. Making sure that you're familiar with the process. Every moment counts with multiple offers, and even to help make sure that you're not in a multiple offer situation, every moment counts, because when we write the offer, time moves on between the time your offer is written and the time that your offer is reviewed. And if in the meantime another offer comes in because maybe we delayed a bit, then it's not ideal. So timing is everything. If you are in a multiple offer situation, you may not have a second chance. So it's really important to put your best foot forward and write as clean an offer as possible. So what that means is, generally speaking, hopefully you're going to be somewhat aware of the market, and of course we can put together a market analysis of competing properties so you have a sense of value on the property you're offering. But you may need to offer above asking price. Often you do. And yet you may still be making an offer that's reasonable, and if you win on this particular property, it may be that you're getting still a good deal. Not all properties are overpriced, and not all properties are fairly priced. Some properties are underpriced, and that's one of the reasons they end up in multiple offer situations. So a clean offer can mean many things, but it's a good idea to do a little research and find out what the motivation, if possible, of the seller is. It's not always conveyed, but knowing what their ideal dates are for completion and possession, knowing what items are included and excluded, and then not including a lot of extra whimsy type clauses. Generally speaking, my job is to protect you, the buyer, and write as protective a contract as possible, covering your interests. Now we balance that, and this is for discussion, but we balance that with the fact that writing an offer that protects all of your interests may not interest the seller, who is going to be more interested in an offer that is really of interest to them. So we want to balance that, but the cleaner we can write your offer, the better. And that means having our ducks in a row in advance. Now, one thing that people sometimes write is what's called a relational offer, and that's an offer that says, I'll pay $5,000 above the next highest offer, for example. And unfortunately, in contract law, that isn't really going to fly, because the elements of the contract aren't really something. It's dependent on another third-party contract for it to have meaning. So buyers and their realtors don't often like that kind of contract, despite the fact that it generally suggests that you would be paying more for the property than maybe the highest bidder. So again, you want to put your best foot forward, and if you are willing to pay above what you're putting forward, then you may want to give me written authority to say something to that effect. And what would require at that point is a counter offer from the seller. They wouldn't be able to just accept. Sometimes emotions help sell a property, and sometimes the seller is just looking at the bottom line and what is the number on paper for the offer. So those are important things to try and gauge, and I will often ask the listing realtor what their thoughts are and what the decision matrix for this seller is going to be. What are the important pieces for them. But if you do have a nice picture of your family and the family pet and the reasons why you want to buy the property, sometimes a letter, sometimes a photograph, any little bit can help tweak the offer in your favor. And of course, if two offers very similar are in front of a seller, and the seller is emotionally attached to their property, and they can really see how you as buyers or somebody they can relate to, and they don't want to disappoint, they may end up taking your offer. So it's really important that we do everything we can to help you in that regard. So again, in terms of presentation of the offers, there's no particular order. Generally they're presented in the order they were received, but not always. It is possible that agents will be presenting offers in person. Again, it depends on the seller, and it's really important that you remain accessible, because it may be that your offer is a good offer, but if we've communicated that you're available, that you're accessible, you can make quick changes, let's say to the dates or to the items included or excluded, or maybe there's a correction that needs to be made to the contract to make just some minor changes. Then whether you've done something like given me a letter of authority that allows me to sign these small changes on your behalf, or we've got set up with a digital signature system so that even if you're over not in town, we can still sign something. Or maybe you're physically waiting in the car when I'm doing a presentation at the home, and I can tell that to the agent and the seller, my clients are in the car, they're very serious about this property, and if you are not sure which one to accept, if it's a matter of making some changes, give us please an opportunity to counter an offer, and we can make a decision within 5 minutes. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking at. So the last piece is, you don't win every property. There's often, sometimes there's 5, 6, 7, 8 offers in a multiple offer situation. So if you don't win out, sometimes you can still win, because not every offer proceeds. Unless it's a completely unconditional offer, there's going to be conditions such as subject to review of title, building inspection, financing. And properties do not always proceed. So putting a backup offer in position means that you're now accepted subject to the first offer falling apart. And that would happen, let's put it this way. That's a great option, as opposed to waiting for the offer to fall apart and then maybe ending up again in another multiple offer situation. Okay, so that's kind of it. I was hoping to keep this short, but it ended up being quite long. If you have questions, give me a call or send me an email. Thank you.